Hello and welcome back to my channel. So today I have another Sims 4 speed build for you, and like I mentioned in my last video, I have another build that I did over on stream with my friend, and this is that build. And my friend decided that she really wanted basically like a toddler kid like paradise is how she described it. And so we like toyed with ideas of having like a dinosaur and all kinds of stuff, but we landed on the idea of basically building a castle. And I decided to actually make it like a community lot or like a generic lot that basically you can just bring your Sims to and have like birthday parties in a cool like kid hangout spot, because I feel like we don't have a ton of those in the game. So we kind of just went wild with a bunch of colors, crazy patterns, and honestly like this build is just a whole lot of fun. And I tried to put a bunch of stuff in there for kids to do if you were to bring them to the lot. So like I said, I just feel like there's not a ton out there, and this could be something really cute to add to your game. And this is already up on the Sims 4 gallery if you would like to download it, and I believe I uploaded it as like a generic lot, and so you can change that if you want to and kind of use it however you want, but it is definitely not made as a residential, like there's no place to sleep, like that kind of thing, but you can decide exactly what kind of lot you want it to be. But we kind of went back and forth a lot, and this again was, I know I mentioned it in my last video, I had this period of time where I was having a hard time deciding like what I wanted to build, what I wanted to do, like that kind of thing, and that was actually during that like period as well. And so again, this one was built in like 2 parts because I was doing the exterior on stream and it got to the point where I was like, I don't know, like I'm not feeling it, like something doesn't feel quite right, if that makes sense. So I was like, I definitely need to like step away and come back. So that's exactly what I did, and I'm so happy with the way it turned out. I even used some of the new like water park features that came with the Growing Together kit, and we did try to actually use that ball pit, which I know is like something that, you know, the Sims community, we don't care for it very much, like that's a whole thing. However, we were thinking about like creating almost like a ball pit like moat kind of situation, and I don't know, it didn't work out like we wanted it to, so we decided just to make like this little like moat looking thing. And you saw I was trying to draw it to kind of make it look a little more organic, but then the game, like after all of that work, it was like, no, I don't want to place it there. So I just ended up basically using this pool here, and I decorated around, and I put like fountains in it, and technically your Sims could swim in it if they want to, but I didn't like put a ladder or anything there, but they could use that as a swimming pool as well if you wanted to. So I mean, you could almost actually, like, I was gonna say you could use it as like a community pool lot, but it technically is not gonna have the items you need. Of course, if you wanted to use it as that, you could just add those items in there, because as usual, if you want to download it and do whatever you want with it, you are more than welcome to. And so for this build, I ended up adding just like a bunch of really fun plants and just colorful, like everything everywhere. And so we added a bunch of lush like plants here in the back, because we also figured that would be a really fun view to have from the inside of this castle. And we end up actually putting in 2 bathrooms in here, and I also add in a small kitchen, because I figured if you want to use this as a place to like have birthday parties and stuff, you need a cake for that. And at least like when I play, I feel like those are things that I forget, and then I want to make it on site like at the venue, and then I can't. So I did put in like a tiny little kitchen that literally all you can do in it is basically make cakes. Because there's only like a mini fridge and an oven, but it does work. This has been play tested, and you can see the screenshots at the end. It really does work, but it was very interesting trying to put a little kitchen in one of those little towers. Like that was a whole thing. And I did actually end up keeping that whale on the roof. Like at first we thought maybe like we should give the kids access to the roof, but then we thought, so I just kind of put stuff up there to make it just look a little bit fun. And you could see I brought out the little freezer bunny, I think this was called, and my friend was like, no, I don't like it. So we didn't actually end up keeping it, but at this point I was still trying to decide like what we wanted here in this like front lawn kind of area, and I was struggling a lot. You can see I've got a bunch of stuff out here, but don't worry, I assure you it comes together in the end. It doesn't look this insane. I thought about putting tents out here. We thought about putting like a movie spot out here. which is absolutely something you can do if you want to download it and do that. But I actually end up putting a little water park over there where that movie area is. So we definitely change things around, but honestly, there's just a bunch of stuff for kids and even toddlers to do here. So I am so excited about that, and I hope you enjoy this a lot if you decide to download it. And it literally is like a color explosion, and inside the build I end up putting like a bunch of balloons, like all of that kind of stuff in there to make it like the perfect like birthday hangout spot. And like I said, I ended up just adding a bunch of flowers, like all kinds of stuff everywhere, and we just ended up using pink. I don't know how we ended up landing on that as the color of this castle, to be honest. It just kind of happened that way. I think because it was like a really fun wallpaper and it just kind of happened. So that's kind of the theme, the color theme of this build. And I actually end up using one of the towers for like a little reading nook area for kids to hang out with, including like toddlers and everything. So a bunch of little seats in there, and it is so cute. It is so, so cute. And I just end up actually adding, I do this in a little bit, I know I'm like getting ahead of myself, but I ended up adding like little paw prints on the ground. Like I found those, and I can't even remember what pack they're from. Like I swear I've never even seen that item before, but I end up like doing paw prints like up the sidewalk to the entrance, and it is so cute. Like some of the items like seriously that I used here I've never used before, and honestly I had to like figure out how to use like the water features that I end up putting in this area as well, because I was like, I don't actually know how these growing together things work. But I just wanted this adorable area, and including a little slide there for toddlers as well. And I do end up putting benches out here because I figured, you know, if your parents are bringing kids here, that they may want to like hang out with them and watch them kind of thing, you know, like supervision for children. So I put those seats in there as well, which I think also helps kind of line that walkway. And we ended up sizing up those giant, like, I'm gonna call them teddy bears, the stuffed animals there in the front. Like, that's so cute. Like, they're so large, but it's so funny to me. They look adorable. And actually over in this area, we end up actually using that play gym for toddlers. I have never used that. Literally never used that in my life, but I thought that would be something really cute to include here. And you can see here I'm adding in those paw prints that I was talking about earlier, and I love the way that turned out. It just like, I don't know, I feel like you see that in places like to kind of guide you. And also one of my birds is like screaming downstairs. I'm hoping that's not coming through on the recording, so if it does, I apologize, but I have 3 birds, so sometimes they can be really loud. I think they can hear me doing the voiceover, and they're like, I can hear the human upstairs, and so they're kind of freaking out right now. But anyways, that is totally random. But I'm just including some lights around so everything is well lit. I really do try to make sure my builds are well lit so they look good at night as well. And here is like kind of what I'm trying to decide what I wanted to do. I do end up including, I can't remember if I said how many bathrooms I included, but I included 2 bathrooms in here because I figured if this is going to be like a community lot, you should probably have 2 bathrooms. And this is that kitchen that I really like, I struggled with for a while. I'm not gonna lie, like this is just a very awkward room, especially with those windows, and I like the windows, so I didn't want to get rid of the windows, like, so that was a whole entire thing. But we do figure it out, and it does work, and I am excited with the way it turned out. And I was able to use just a bunch of pink everywhere, and using that super cute snowy escape tile with the little cats on it, like that is so cute to me, and I thought was so perfect in this space that was like meant for kids. And I use the same tile in the bathrooms as well. And in the bathrooms, I do include a toddler potty, and I include an infant changing table on the wall because I figured with that addition to the game that like you could bring all those kids here. There's not so much like for the infants to do, but I figured you might have them with you or bring your like portable like pop-up like crib thing. What am I trying to say? You know what I'm trying to say. For the infants, so you can have them with you as well. And I figured a toddler potty would be super useful if you're bringing kids here, like they're gonna need to use the bathroom. So I kind of added all that in here. And again, this space took me a second to figure out as well, like how I wanted to put this together, but I figured having the bathrooms on the back of the build made the most sense in terms of like, I don't know, like since there were windows, like you're seeing the back of the build instead of the front, so people that are walking by can't just see into the bathroom. But again, not that that matters in The Sims, but that's just stuff that I think about. And so just including a bunch of stuff in here, like some soaps and a towel, and of course an adorable rug because I can't help myself, like I have to put them everywhere. And those lovely cloud lights, I couldn't help it, I had to use them everywhere. And you can see I just have a bunch of stuff there in the middle trying to decide exactly what I wanted to do, but I think it comes together so well in the end. I end up using just a bunch of these crazy patterns, and it's seriously so adorable. I do end up including a little table to put the birthday cake on as well, and I also include like a table with like 3 chairs, because if there's parents here or people want to eat cake or, you know, just hang out, there's space for people to do that. And this is that little like reading nook that I was talking about earlier, that I figured, you know, toddlers, kids, like basically anybody can come hang out in this space. Maybe your parents can like read to the kids, that kind of thing. So I just kind of packed it full of places to sit and books and everything, and I just thought it looked so adorable in this space. Like seriously, like that actually, I don't know, that may be my favorite part of the build, to be honest. But in that main area, I do end up putting a Don't Wake the Llama table, because, you know, I want to make sure there's stuff for everybody to do, and one of those like kid like play things. Like, I know I'm not being very descriptive at all, but the like pedestal thing, again, I don't think I've ever used that item. You'll see me place it here in a little bit. And I used a lot of the high school years kind of prom stuff, because it just looks so magical to me, and that pink swatch, that it just looks like so much fun. And so I thought that would be perfect. And I end up putting like a pile of presents over in the corner, which of course, if you didn't want to use this as a birthday event space, you could just take that all out. And of course, I had to use the new giant llama that we got, because like, when else am I going to be able to use that without having to size it down? Like, it was so perfect, and I figured it'd be such a cute place for like pictures and stuff for your Sims. So I tried to make this just a really cute space for you to hang out in with your Sims, and them to actually be able to get out of the house into a community lot. And then just adding a few decals around to just make this super adorable. And if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. And let me know down below if you have any other suggestions for builds. And I hope you have a really sweet day. Bye, everybody.